to Hood Champion Boxing. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So Ryan Garcia, or Ryan I'm Turned Up Garcia, is receiving a whole lot of hate these days. And the question is, why is Ryan Garcia being the target of so much criticism and just dislike? And to be quite frank, hate. A lot of people hate Ryan Garcia. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't fancy him either. I think he's a good boxer, speed and power. His speed is on another level. So I'm just calling it for like I see it. But he's just young, cartoonish, man. And can't just come now and just want to dislike somebody for them being who they are. But I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, what I think some of the hate derives from. You see, Ryan Garcia he committed the ultimate betrayal when he started talking about his mental health struggles. He pulled out the fight with Javier Fortuna, right? He went out to social media. This man knows he has millions of people following him. He went out to social media and the entire world, what it seems, converged on him and wanted to see him get better. Like, that's one thing. A lot of people, especially today, they don't play around with mental health struggles. Like, that is something that's out in the forefront, an issue that's in the forefront and is getting a lot of attention. And a lot of people are trying to come to grips with their own personal struggles and mental health struggles and trying to get help. So Ryan Garcia goes out, puts it out to the world that contemplating suicide and reading posts on social media about him, how it all got to him, and there's expectation for him to be this, superstar boxer. Anyway, everyone, even his arch rivals, arch nemesis, were sending prayers to this guy, even Javier Fortuna. Everybody just hoping that he takes his time off, get himself together. And it's like he played everyone. Because like a couple of days later, he's out there at the beach with some female posting pictures about that. And people are like, man, this guy pulls out of a fight to go on vacation with this female. Now, my thing is, maybe he needed that to go out there, get a little rest, recover, get his mind right. That could be part of his treatment, right? But the problem is, like, it wasn't too long after that, he was at the damn Logan Paul Mayweather press conference there with Jake and Logan and in the middle of the action, but he's supposed to be having these mental health issues. Wasn't too long after that, Devin gets clipped by Jorge Linares, and he jumps on social media ripping Devin Haney and saying a bunch of horrible things about him. And, he did, there's a couple other things that he did during that time frame where everybody's like, hold on a second. Everyone came to your defense. Everyone there was supporting you. Even Devin Haney was. But you're going to take an opportunity to kick a man while he's down? You the same one who said you were being, cyberbullying and just had all of these concerns and worries and all this mental trauma as a result of your social media presence, and not everything is nice, right? You're the same one who can't get it together. And you want to turn now and do to Devin Haney, do to other athletes and people, do the same thing to them, what you complained about was happening to you, and put you on the brink of suicide. So fast forward beyond that, look at how he's talked about Canelo. Look at the things that he's doing, even about his opponents and things he's saying about his opponents. about what he wants to do. Now, me personally, if this was Ricardo Mayorga, nobody would care. We know he's crazy. Ricardo Mayorga had mental health issues, but he never came out there asking anybody for help. Even with all the crap he has going on back in Nicaragua right now, pretty much left with nothing. A lot of bad stuff happening. He lost his mom, very close to his mom. So Ricardo Mayorga ain't on no damn social media. So with Ricardo Mayorga, you'd almost, expect for someone like that to come out with some announcement. But Ryan Garcia, a lot of people question whether he was genuine with that. Okay? Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a clinical counselor. I'm not a sociologist. I don't study people or group behavior. But I'm a common sense man. I've been around 25 years in a profession where I dealt with a lot of people. And plenty crap starts to stink. And Ryan has pretty much created himself a shit sandwich of a situation, and no one likes him. And I think what put a lot of people over the edge is him really bad talking Canelo. Canelo let that man into his, you could just say, let him in his house. Eddie Reynoso, let him in his house. They didn't have to do that, man. And he did it when he was beefing with, or there was turmoil between Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. And they still let you stay there and train. They said you had nothing to do with that. They wanted to help him. And he came out here saying just anything negative he can say about Canelo, he's saying. He's bigger than Canelo. He has a bigger platform. He deserves equal attention. Eddie Reynoso didn't treat him the way he deserved. No one tells me what to do, and that's what I like about Goosen. It's more of a collaboration. I kind of tell him this is kind of what I'm seeing and what I want to do. And those are problems, man. And then now he gets interviewed, right? And this is out there, man. This isn't me making this up. He was asked why he feels he's hated or hated on. And the cockahole says he genuinely feels that people hate on him. Although he started boxing at 7, he traveled all around. He kept winning. Mother and father sacrificed a lot for him. But although he did all of that, and he's doing great as a professional boxer, he feels people hate him or hate on him because he's so handsome. Ryan Garcia feels because he's so good looking, that's why people hate on him. Yo, man. You guys think Ryan Garcia is handsome? I don't really have an opinion on that, okay? But I don't think the reason people dislike him is because, as he says, because he's handsome. All right? So he even went on to say, that's arrogant and cocky, but it is what it is. So, hey, for someone who's had mental health struggles to come now and speak highly of themselves, hey, man, I commend them. But at the same time, you can't just, you want to lick on yourself, Ryan Garcia, go do that elsewhere. That's why people don't like you. You come out there, the kid is young and inexperienced. I don't know who he has in his corner. You got to listen a whole lot and talk very little when you're in his position, okay? Because he's brought so much attention on himself. Nobody put attention on him before. People were watching him because he had a little social media presence and because he was a good boxer. Nobody was really thinking about anything else when it came to Ryan Garcia. When things went left for him, excuse me, in my opinion, is the mental health stuff. Man, you can't play around with that, You just can't. There's just certain things, especially today, race and religion are two things you just have to be careful when you're talking about. Politics is something you got to be careful when you're talking about. But when you start talking about mental health, man, suicidal, stuff like that, that affects almost everybody has been affected by that directly or indirectly, with someone who's been depressed, been angry, has felt anxious, who want to commit suicide, who knows someone who want to commit suicide, someone who's attempted suicide, someone who's actually been successful, right? At some point, we've all felt, even being OCD, that's a mental health struggle, okay? Being sad, being angry. You know, mental health is such a broad umbrella, there's so many things that fall underneath there. But if you're going to come out and throw stuff like that out there to the world, but then come back in what I would say isn't a reasonable time frame and just start shredding everybody else in, it makes people really question his sincerity. And I'm, for one, I'm not convinced that he was really going through those kind of struggles. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to encourage anyone else to hate him, dislike him, or question anything he says, because that's a serious topic. But I feel like I'm qualified because of just what I did for 25 years. And if you're going to sit there and want people to come to your defense because you feel people are bullying you or saying horrible things about you that are unfair, well then damn, when you do it to someone else, expect people to come to their defense and, you know, attack your stupid ass, okay? It's just how it goes. So if you can dish it out, be able to take it, okay? Because when people were dishing it out to you, everybody converged on you and they tried to help Ryan Garcia out and got behind him. Whether he had issues or not, let's just say he got better. And he became so mentally healthy that he wanted to attack everybody. So now everybody's coming now and he's got a target on his back. So people want to see him fail. He's a young guy, so I always believe in building champions, not breaking them down. But he definitely needs a good boot in his ass. I really feel that. I feel because of all the money that he made outside of boxing, I think it's made him to where he doesn't have that drive, that passion. I don't think he has that commitment to want to go in there and be like a Canelo Alvarez. And what I mean by that is Canelo has, must be 300-400 million. That man's still fighting like he's selling ice cream. I said it in another video. Ryan Garcia is not that. I think if Ryan Garcia gets in here with Javier Fortuna, and Fortuna still has anything left in the gas tank, and he bangs him up good, because Fortuna fights dirty, I think we're going to see Ryan Garcia crumble. I really do. But at the same time, boy, if he crumbles, man, he thinks people hate him now. Oh, man. I hope he has a good support system because he's going to get it. Full blast. No safety. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get it. He's going to get it big time. And he'll deserve whatever he gets. I just think at some point you got to be a kill switch because we don't want to push him over the edge, but he can't come out and talk about torturing someone and doing all these horrible things to somebody. You know, when you're someone who's saying that all these horrible things were said to you that made you feel like you just didn't want to be here, be around people, you know? So, I don't know. But we know his speed and power. His speed is definitely next level. His power is up there too, it seems. But he just got that target on his back, man. You know, there's a growing number of not just boxing fans, but boxers, people in the boxing community. You know, they're just developing a lot of disgust towards him. And it just makes you wonder how someone like him who went from doing the flash videos and being, you know, kind of loved and admired by so many people to, he doesn't really do many of the punching thing where he put on the little bodysuit and he hits them as hard as he can, you know, with his hooks. There's a lot of things about that Ryan Garcia enjoyed doing that seems to be unraveling for him. But I think this move to Joe Goossen is, I think he's going to be short-lived, man. You know, Ryan Garcia has to figure out what he wants to do, but can't come out here just deciding you want to be nice to somebody one day, cold to them the next day. You know what I'm saying? Then lukewarm the next day. Like, you have to be consistent. And right now, the only thing Ryan Garcia is being consistent with is turning people off. So he has a big fight with Fortuna, and Fortuna has said Ryan Garcia is focused too much on Tank Davis. I honestly think all the talk about Tank Davis, I think he and Oscar sat down and devised a strategy to try to get Ryan's name out in the mix with Tank Davis more than it has been. Ryan Garcia never talked like that, and De La Hoya never talked like he wanted to be friends with Mayweather, have a working relationship with Mayweather or Al Heyman. Now he wants to work with DeBella. He wants to work with Heyman. He wants to work with everybody. He wants to make the biggest fights. That wasn't something that De La Hoya was talking before, but now he is talking it, okay? So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if there was they sat down and kind of had a discussion and figured, hey, let's powwow and try to get me a fight with Tank. Now, if Ryan Garcia goes into a fight with Tank, the fight would probably be interesting, okay? But Tank can box. Tank is small. Tank is used to fighting guys taller than him. And Ryan Garcia has speed, he has the power. I just think Tank is too quick, too sharp, too intelligent. I just think Tank would get to him. Not saying Ryan Garcia may not have moments in that fight, but Ryan Garcia fights tall. He's like a damn giraffe. And he's going to get caught at some point in that fight. And it's going to be lights out. But all of that being said, man, I just think Ryan Garcia needs to sort things out with the quickness, because it's not good to be in a position like that. You're out here, you're a big name, not the biggest name in boxing, but you're a big name, and you're bad talking Kambosos. Saying horrible things about Kambosos. Kambosos came out there and clipped Teofimo. Okay? You're saying bad things about this man. If Ryan Garcia would have fought Fortuna, and then Ryan Garcia would have probably got the fight, let's say Ryan Garcia could have fought Kambosos. If Ryan Garcia would have been more active, Ryan Garcia would be in the position that Devin Haney's in right now. And I think he would have had a good chance on winning. But, he just made some decisions that ultimately cost him some success. But, you look at where Tank's at. You look where Devin Haney's at. Okay? You look at what Loma was able to do. You look at what, Shakir Stevenson. You look at the guys at 135. Ryan's the only one really who hasn't really picked up a belt. Everybody else is bubbling. Everyone he's talking about is outperforming him. Okay? So that could be a reason why he just has so much to say, because he's looking at them, and although he has the larger fan base, he's probably more known on an international scale. He hasn't had the most success in his boxing career. So these are things that could be bothering him and playing with him, and that's why he's so bitter and sour. This guy makes millions of dollars outside of boxing, but he's just miserable. There's nothing we can do to help with that. He's got to sort that out on his own. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with that. There's a lot of other things he said and he's been doing. I just don't feel like going into all of that right now. I just know, I think the big thing with Ryan Garcia is when it came to the mental health stuff, something just seems off there. And then to come now, and the one person who really helped that man's career, because Ryan Garcia would be out of boxing if he didn't move over to Canelo's camp. He was damn near getting his ass beat in those early fights he was having, looking up at the clock, fatigued. They put him over at Reynoso, man. It turned him into a better fighter. Simple. Ryan Garcia was shouting, "Viva Mexico! Viva Mexico!" Right? All that. Remember that? All that's gone now. He out there talking with Joe Goosen, arguing with Joe Goosen about the game plan. So Ryan Garcia it needs to show appreciation and be humble, which he's not. And life has a way of doing that to you. I can tell you from firsthand experience. So that being said, I'm going to leave it as that. Leave your opinions on Ryan Garcia. I still think Ryan Garcia has a bright future. I do, but let me tell you something. You can't leave your mind behind. And if there's something more going on with him that we're not seeing, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's not going to be happy, and he's not going to establish a successful working relationship with any trainer or any team. Okay? And I know his dad knows his son, loves his son, wants the best for his son, but his dad could be the problem too, man. Okay? His dad could be the problem too, who feels like his son is really, bigger than what he is. It's one thing if you have an issue where you feel your son's not getting developed. I understand that, but you start looking at his platform and everything that he has going on outside of boxing, and now you want to sit there and kind of leverage that against the trainers, the promoters, and everyone else and say, hey, well, we bring this to the table as well that other people don't. We should get paid more, or we deserve more attention, or we should be the number one priority. That's not necessarily how it works. Okay, so more to come on Ryan Garcia, but right now I'm telling you that the boxing world is, and people outside the boxing community are really developing a strong dislike, borderline hate for Ryan Garcia, and I personally can understand it. I'm not saying I agree. I think he needs a foot in his ass, but I still think he's a young man. We got to build him into a champion, not breaking him down. Putting a foot in that backside don't break him down. It gets his attention, and maybe we can get him on the right track. But if he wants to still sit out here and talk about torturing people and beating people and hurting people and people suck and laughing at people getting knocked down and calling everybody in boxing scrubs and how he'll do this and that to them and saying they're worthless, they're bums, and disrespect Canelo and disrespect Floyd, he wants to keep doing that. It's his mouth. He has a mouth. He can use his mouth. He can run his mouth, But other people have mouths too, and they can do the same. So if you can dish it out, you better be able to take it. That being said, like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, shout out to the veterans, and as always, I'm in the breeze.